Hello, hello. Happy Sunday. We're back for another episode of Using Up Your 12 by 12 Papers. And this week is sponsored by Corey Dahman. Not sponsored really, but this was an idea off of Corey Dahman's channel. She is a creator who is really good at using up your scraps and finding ways to make projects to use up your scraps that you have. Everybody that does junk journaling has scraps upon scraps upon scraps upon scraps upon scraps. Now this is a little more complicated than some of the previous ones we've done. I've gone ahead and cut my 12 by 12s, done the first cuts, which is to cut 5.5 by 12, and that 5.5 strip is your base. So it is this page right here. But you can see there's flippy, flappies, foldies, pockets. This was left over, and I'm not sure what it... This was just kind of laying in here, so I don't know what it's for. I've rounded the corner, so I'm assuming it is to be used as a journaling card. So, but lots of little foldies. You got a flip out here. It's got a little tuck on it. This will flip up. There will be a notepad underneath here. There will be a notepad attached to a belly band here on the inside of the front cover. And when you open it up, you'll have another tuck spot here. You'll have a pocket here. This will open up and there'll be a little notepad here. And this will be held closed with a little magnet. And then when you flip it over, there's also a pocket on the back. So lots of fun, lots of flippies. So yeah, let's get started. So like I said, I've already cut them down to 5.5. Just to kind of save the step. We're going to go ahead and start with this one that's right here on top. Now if you watched my disaster last week, I'm not going to score everything first, because I did that last week and I scored them all incorrectly. So we're going to go back to doing things the way that makes sense, one at a time. So if you're using a double-sided paper, you want to decide what you want to be visible on the outside. Because this is single-sided paper, this is going to be my outside. So you want your outside facing down. And you're going to score at 4 1/8, 8 1/4, 10 1/8. Okay. I'm going to fold this over. This folds back on itself. Now if it's not even, which is going to happen if your pages are not exactly 12 inches, bring that out so that it meets. And then give it a good burnish, and then voila. And then this piece will fold over like this. So there is our cover. Opens up, This will be a pocket. This will be a flippy back cover. Okay. I'll set this down. We're going to trade it out for the trimmer. On your other piece, which measures 6 1/8 long or wide, so you're going to cut 2.5 inches, which makes your this flap here. Now if you're doing double-sided paper, or you've got printed paper like I have on one of my other ones, you can pick and choose which end you want to cut your 2.5 inches off. In this case, it doesn't matter. So 2.5 inches. While I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and round 2 of those corners. Trim at 5 inches. You want to save this piece because you're going to need it later. So again, I'm just rounding my little corners here. And then score at 1/4 inch. There's a little more scoring to do on other pieces, so I'm going to hold off on that. Then you're going to cut a 4-inch vertical. Which again is the up and down. And then you're going to spin it and cut 3 3/4. This is your front flip, and this is your other front flip. So put those off to the side. And on your last panel, you're going to cut vertical at 2 inches by 5.5. This is your back pocket. Save that piece. Turn your page so you're cutting sideways, and you're going to cut this at 4.5. This is 1.5 by 2.5. This right here is the little flappy that holds this flip out open. One and a half by 2.5. is the inside left flap pocket, and then cut this one 1 1/4 horizontal for the top left pocket. Let's try this out again. So on this front flap, we need to score this at 1/4 inch on the short flat side, not the side that I've curved. So 1/4 inch on the short side. Okay. This piece is 3 3/4 by 4, and you're going to score 1/2 inch from the right edge on the 3 1/2 side. Right? Is that what I'm? What is this one? It's got me scoring on both sides, and that doesn't make any sense. So 1/2 inch. This one's the other 1/2 inch. Half inch and 1/2 inch. Curve these edges. This one, curve the edges. Oops, sorry. This back tuck, we're going to put a little notch in it. Eyeball in the center. Okay. And then this one is this extra piece here. You can see the difference in size simply because my pages are different sizes. These are also going to have magnet closures. So we'll kind of go from there. So with this, we got to glue these in a specific order because things are going to be covered by other objects. So like this little flap, we're going to glue it down, and then when we glue where'd it go? When we glue the pocket on here, see, it's going to cover that flap. So this, yeah, do one corner. It's kind of this glues on here and folds over and holds that flap. Okay, let's just start gluing in the correct. Start going out of pieces. Where's my sample? I think I'm done with the scoreboard for this one. Woo! I just dropped everything off my table onto the floor. Okay. First thing we're going to glue on is going to be this flap. And we're gluing it even. This doesn't have to be exact length. We cut this one down to 5 inches. It can be any size you want. You just want it to be shorter than the overall thing. So it's kind of important that you do things in a specific order. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to cover up all of your little hinges with other pockets. Right now I'm waiting on my glue. Let's turn on some tunes while we're waiting. Were you guys yelling? What are you doing? You're messing up already. Inside. And I tend to bring it over and make sure that it lays flat before I really push that glue into place. Give that a burnish, and then you have one little flappy here. Next little flappy is this one. Now this is going to be coming over this way, so you got to kind of decide, do you want it blue on blue on blue, or do you want to flip any of these over, you know, like so, for example. Or this one can be white. And then come back to the blue. Got to remember things are layering up. So I think I'm going to go this way. And put the blue. And you want to stagger them so you see each of the pieces individually. Just straighten out my pieces here. So this one, you have to glue this one on because this flap gets hidden behind the back pocket. And I'm just going to miter these corners. You want to make sure you get a good glue on there. So this one's going to come below. So here's where this one ends. Here's where this one ends. Okay. And then your back pocket, or your front flap pocket, glues on the inside of here. Glues on this flap here. Even with the top. It could be even, it could be lower. You just kind of want to figure out, where you want to place it. I'm going to go a little lower than the top, just so there's not so much bulk up there. So you can miter those corners, but you don't have to. What you do have to do is put the glue on the right, the right side. Roll this off.
Chase, make more, what's yours?
Move my book. So get this put in my bottle.
But it wouldn't be paradise without surprises along the way. This gives me blur. That's right, your favorite golden alums are crashing the beach.
Naughty baby.
Bachelor Paradise premieres tonight at 8/7 Central on ABC and stream on Hulu.
Love my glue eraser. Okay, we need to put glue on this side of the flap because it's going to be glued like so. again, I'm gonna wrap it around this. It's not gonna glue to this, it's gonna glue to this. I just want to make sure I get it into the position that I want, that it will actually close over that, and then lay it down. So I can open this up and give this a burnish. More glue on the ends. Now this part is not covered up with other pieces like the rest of these are. This part is only covered by the notepad that goes in right here. This goes here, and again we're going to glue on the back side. And where you want this is up to you. If you want to try to center it with this, you can, or if you want to center it with the overall piece. Depends on, you know, what your eye wants. So you don't have to worry about what it's overlapping here, because again, these are going to be open. This closes this up. Okay. You could round the corners here if you want. Doesn't really matter. It's up to you. Depends on what kind of a finished look you're wanting. Okay, we're gonna flip this over. We're gonna glue our back pocket on here. So 2 sides. And down the bottom. And that goes over this, covers this up. So you may get hung up a little bit there when you're putting stuff in and out because of the height of the cardstock there. If you are worried about that, you can cover it with some sort of tape, whether, you know, you could use Scotch tape, you could use packing tape, whatever. I'm going to pull out my washi tape that's hidden away that, you know, it's not sticky at all. So I don't really use it for anything decoration wise because it doesn't stick. You know what, I don't think Guns N' Roses allows me, so we're gonna skip that. So add a little glue on here. And all this is doing is making this lip smoother. So when you're sliding stuff in and out, it's not getting caught on that cardstock. That's all that is. You don't have to worry about it matching because it's going to be covered up. See, in this I could have done a white pocket if I wanted to. But because there is designs back here, I'm okay with it being the blue. sure it all sticks. We have this one that's going to go here. I can glue here and here. So again, hold the opposite ends of what you want to glue. That way you don't accidentally glue the incorrect piece. Now I could have ran some washi up under that one as well, because there is still that same lip, but I didn't. And then we have the inside of this pocket. This goes here. I'm going to do this edge because it's the upper corner, and I'm going to do this edge down here so that it matches this one down here. And I totally did that backwards because I was going to do a white pocket on this side. Okay, we'll just do all four sides. No biggie. It's not going to do anything for the functionality. So here and here. Oh my goodness. See, I held the wrong corner and I glued the wrong edge. Hold this edge so I don't glue it there. Here and here. Glue this down. And you have that little tuck there. Got to do a belly band up here. We're going to do that at 1/2 inch. And we're going to trim it down. I want to trim it so it fits on the insides of these borders. And that is going to hold this tablet here on the inside. We're going to glue just the edges. You're going to want it to be a little further down. If you want it to be a removable, which is kind of why you put the belly band in there, so that way you can make a removable notepad, you want to leave some room up at the top because you're going to be sliding, you're going to be attaching papers to a stronger piece to slide in and out. So you want it to be, you don't want to put it all the way up because then your notepad's going to be sticking up above. I don't know if that makes any sense. So again, this will be a little journaling card that goes in here. I'm going to go ahead and round all those corners.
Trips with friends will feed you McDonald's fries.
We're going to glue this and this down. So glue there, glue there. And that's gluing this pocket down.
Settle for me, man, when there's Batman. Come on, make the wheel, don't die on me now. So don't settle for just any insurance when there's State Farm.
And we got to put our magnets. So I think I can get away with the little ones. Because these ones are thick and they do take up a lot of space. These are going, you know. Now if it was if I was going to put this under here, which I could, so that it's hidden and then have the magnet here, I'd be going through two thicknesses plus a thickness going, but I'm going to go here instead. And what that's going to do is give me, where did they just go? Oh my gosh. Oh, one of those broke. They both broke, actually. Anyway, because I'm going to go here and here, there's less paper for it to go through. So I think that the magnet should be able to hold itself. Now, Corey used Velcro dots, which is also a viable option. So what I do here is just kind of put a little dab. It may stick, it may not. If it doesn't, at least I know where to stick the magnet. Gotta make sure that when you're sticking your magnets on, you're sticking them so that they're attracted to each other and not repulsed by each other. That's an important piece. Now, this is an extra piece, and there's nothing in the instructions that say what this is for, because you pretty much got something on each page. I mean, you could put a pocket here, but it doesn't really fit. This already has a little tuck. This has a tuck. This is a pocket. This folds out. This is too wide to use here as a pocket of any kind. I mean, I suppose you could use it as a pocket there. This has a belly band. I think she may have used this little piece to then embellish this front pocket. But because I've got to cover up magnets, excuse me, magnet. Shoot. Erg. Anyway, because I'm going to need to cover up magnets, I am going to use this piece to cut out little circles. let that sit there. I think I can get away with this little one for the little magnets. Woo. No craft-a-lanching over there. Not the proper use of your scissors. Aha. I had some paper stuck in there. I am my total bumble fingers. I'm going to need 2 little ones. Ah, that's a no. I was so focused on doing this, I didn't even realize that I was playing a song that I'm not allowed to play. Seems so much bigger than this one. So this is 1 inch and this says it's 1 inch. But this hole seems way bigger. Ooh. I can't fit a second one on there. Oh, look, it's Mickey Mouse. So this one is going to be hidden under the notepad. I'm scanning. I'm looking for cardstock of some kind that will be big enough. And that is not it. Anybody see what I did with it? It was over there. It's not even a full circle, but I do want these outside ones to be the big magnets. They've got a little more to deal with. So I'm thinking one right here. And the other one's barely going to fit. Come on. Dang it. That side goes there. This side should go there. Getting a little annoyed. Ugh. So this, I'm just going to put over that.
Fresh pet. It's not dog food, it's food food.
Blend this one in as much as we can.
You wouldn't settle for me, man, when there's Batman. Couple of me will be able to die on me now. So don't settle for just any insurance when there's State Farm.
Yeah, and you just got to kind of move your fingers around until all the glue grabs all the way around.
Hi. Referee number 2. So sorry I'm late. Violation. Red, mark, and cup. I can do it again. Oh, we got it.
So I hope you have enough glue under there, which I apparently did not.
I got some. How much are we paying this guy?
Then we're going to take this. And honestly, you know what? I'm going to do this as a thinner. Because again, it's not really going to be visible. But it will be a little bit. So let's just take some old book page, just so it's thinner. Pulling out that map piece from my project, my altered index. And get those edges really good. I wonder, let's do this. So half, or just to give it a little something on this end. And we're going to glue that down. Give it a good squish. Okay. And then this should magnet close was not a problem. Let's see. The circles don't line up there. If I'd have thought about it, I would have been a little more cautious about that. I'm going to open all these up. Okay, let's put one on at a time because these are not wanting to stick very well. So we're going to stick one magnet. in there. Got this little circle. Now these go down easier because these magnets are not as tall. Those big ones are really tall. So then I can go like this. Okay, it's gotta go. There we go. And this little bit of glue there. Grab the magnet. Ideally, but it doesn't want to grab. Grab it. Make sure you flip it over. If you don't flip it over, you're going to have positives and negatives. I'm going to go ahead and put blue side up. I've been waiting for you. Okay, pull this up. Let's glue these. Get these guys glued down real well. That vacuums. Got your journal card to decorate. Got a pocket there. And it closes up. Now let's break out your scrap paper. You want some thin strips for here. These are almost. Trim this down just a smidge. So these are 1 7/8. Let's trim them down to 1 1/2. Let's see where it goes here. Old paper. So I took that down to 1 inch. So 1 inch is a good width for this one. And then it's 1 by 5 1/4. And just different papers. So I've got a whole bunch over here. Different papers. Some of my painty papers. what did I say? 1 and 1.5. And you don't want all of your pieces to be the same width or the same length, because again, this is a scrappy notepad, and it's designed so that whoever gets this could then tear out pieces to use in their own journal. So let's pull that out. I think I can make that fit in there. Yeah. Let's put something in between those. Got some graphic paper. I've got some old book page, like old book page.
Bob Devin, we can be right home. Be right there.
Is this yours?
There.
So of course my agent doesn't tell me that.
For this one, we're just going to do 4 pages.
Set wranglers yelling at me like, don't make eye contact. Then the director tells me that I've
So
got
let's stagger these.
Do you have something big coming out, honey?
No, just the bird thing.
Now, if I had my sewing machine out and it was readily available, I would sew these rather than staple, but I don't. So, I'm just going to put a single staple up at the top. And then we're going to take this and we're going to run some glue across the top here. We're going to glue this in. Magnet that down, and I'm going to use my scissors for that. Okay, so this one, so again, let's use some different size papers. Too tall. You want to make sure that whatever you get is also going to fit inside your belly band on this one. We're going to trim here, spin it. Give it a trim. It's a little more off. these. Put some glue in here, stiffen this up. I'm going to take this. So again, this paper is what's my measuring for my belly band. So I want to make sure that everything fits. Okay, and again, for the sake of not dragging my sewing machine out, again, I'm just going to put a little staple at the top. And see this, what's above the staple is what's going to be above your belly band. That's why I was saying you want to make sure you put it down just a little bit. And you're going to slide your back piece in the belly band. And this gives just a little scrappy pad there. Now we've got to do the one that goes under here. Sorry, I'm reaching above my head. Just getting some coffee dyed paper. So this here and there. Put this off to the side. What am I cutting here? Two and 3/8. Get hung up on other papers here. Now you can put in more paper if you would like to. I'm just kind of going with 4, 4, and 4. But that's a personal decision because you got to determine for yourself how thick you want your little folio to be. Put these together, cut them together, hopefully. Find those. Okay, and then I'm also, because that edge is rounded, I'm going to put in 2 staples here, really close to the top. And I'm going to round the bottoms of this little pad here. These do have stuff on the back. They're homeschool materials that I have acquired. You can sew this, and the sewing gives it a little less bulk than the staples do. right here. Oops, I didn't cut it in the right spot. So before this dries. Glue that in there. This flaps down. This flaps over. This flaps over. And cinches down. Now this has some little of the paper hanging out the top. If I had hang-ups everywhere else, I would leave that because I think it would look fine. But because everything else is self-contained within, I definitely want to make sure that's flat. But there we go. You see how it's not super thick, but this gives you pocket. Whoops. Okay, I guess we're only getting 3 pieces in there. I don't know how that happened. Have a little notepad here with a little flip up that you can decorate. You open this up, you've got a tab there. You've got a journaling card. You've got another little scrappy pad. And then you have a removable scrappy pad on your cover. And currently I have broken magnets. Yeah, I don't know how that ended up so much shorter. I don't know. Yeah. And I think I'm going to go ahead and leave that in there. So now when you get this, you can decorate your pockets, you can put something on the front, you can decorate your flip. You can add to this if you would like. You can open up, you've got a journaling card to decorate, flaps. I mean, so much for you to do on your own. And then with that, this is actually just turned over an hour, so I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. Some of that was me struggling with the magnets, I realize. But I hope you enjoyed the video, learned a new approach for using up your 12 by 12s, and we'll come back and continue to come back every Sunday as I do more of these videos. We will talk to you in the next video. Bye!